This map is really nice here. This is a really cool map. So let's quickly go into the run. What's important here is to start the drift early here and hold it throughout the turn. And then also don't, I mean, you cannot drift this corner, but I mean a drift makes more sense. I did not go for a drift, but a drift makes more sense in this case. But you can also go for a release if you do not feel comfortable in this section. That's what I also did in matchmaking. Alright, so this map, important here, what I did so often, you can hit the upper part here. You can also get a little bit of grip there, it's not really needed. It is not really that important. Let's actually go for Walton's Ghost. I think this follows the action a bit better at the start. But you can go quite far from the left. Just try to not hit it. Don't hesitate to oversteer, it is fine. And then we go into the drift. I think getting, like holding gear 5 in this drift here is quite hard. You can do it of course, but if you lose it, it's also fine. Then very, very thin SDs again. Don't oversteer too much. Scrappy sets himself up nicely for the turn. So that's why he's leading. And now, this drift, very important. You can also release in this section. That's also completely fine if you misjudged the enter point here. If you're too far on the right side, don't hesitate to release. That is completely fine. The drift started very early, but just tap the brake once and then boom, repetitive slide. Tap only 2 to 3 times in the drift and then go for another drift, but you can also go for a release here. But what is important on this grass section is if you enter it very far, like Scrappy had a really good angle. If you enter it very far from this side here, you will have to oversteer a lot on this grass section, thus resulting in you losing a lot of speed on this whole ending section. Yeah, this is very important. The more you oversteer, the more speed you lose. Then another nice drift in the end. Then make sure to don't oversteer the water, because you can hit there. But I think this AT is tricky, because there's a lot of things to learn. Already the start, holding gear 5, which is not really needed, but you can go for it. I went for it and it's not too hard, it's just a leap of faith. And also those SDs here really snowball your run, as well as this drift where you can really lose or gain a lot of time. This feels like a very nice drift though, but you can also overdrift this corner quite a bit because you can see how close they go to this section. You can also be further inside and go tighter here in this corner. It is completely fine. It is not bad. If you just go for AT metal, it will be completely fine. It is Dexter, true, it's Dexter, not Scrappy. Yeah, I just saw the Sprout skin and I thought it's Dexter, but thank you very much. Oops. Imagine Scrappy having a world record. Sorry, Dexter. Yeah, so it is of course Dexter. So let's follow Dexter again in this run and see how he does it. So nice SD there on this grass section as well to maximize the speed outcome. Then here, enter like same as on 11 kind of. You wanna enter very far on the right side with a lot of angle already towards the turn that you are getting the speed and also the setup for this SD on this section. If you oversteer, you will lose like 3 to 5 speed, if not even more if you've done it not properly. Then nice drift here, repetitive slide. Oh, Dexter with so much speed there. That was beautiful. And then another slide here. You can also go for a release, but I think a slide is just better to set up nicely. And then another nice set of SDs there. Good drift in the end. And suck, we go into the finish. Good run from Dexter. And also not hitting the ending. So very nice from Dexter guy. You love to see it. And again, don't crash the start. Don't crash it. Do not crash the start. Yeah? Stay far on the left side. Don't approach too far from the right. I mean, you need to find a mixture of not oversteering and not crashing, kind of. Yeah. So there, that's what you have to negotiate. And don't start the drift too early. If you're not in gear 5 just yet, wait a bit for the drift. Or work on your starting line. Go more from the left. Don't oversteer this bowl. Yeah? Then here you have different lines, but just make sure to stay very tight to the corner. And I mean, Dexter's run was just insane. So you can also release. That is completely fine. Don't be afraid of releasing. But this turn you can push more than you think. Anyways, let's move on to the next map.